Good morning, family. Welcome to today's Lessons for Life. Today is Wednesday, October 21st, 2009, and today we're reading in 2 Chronicles Chapter 20. And as always, first I encourage you to read these chapters through for yourself. There's a lot we can actually get from this chapter. I'm going to attempt to say as much as I can about what I got from this chapter in this short time. But one of the first things, well, actually, really the last thing I got from the chapter kind of ties in with, I believe it was yesterday's Lessons for Life, because we see Jehoshaphat actually partners up with another person who was not doing right. And I believe yesterday we had spoken about making sure that those who you team up with or that you partner with are doing right, because then you're gonna not be prosperous or your rewards won't be fruitful. So we see Jehoshaphat actually teams up with someone, and they were doing evil, and he didn't get good results from that. So once again, as a reminder, we need to be conscious or be mindful of who we partner up with in life. And now going back into this chapter, we see that some people were coming up against Jehoshaphat, and it says at first that he feared, and he went to the Lord, and the Lord's response to him is really what I want to bring up for today's Lessons for Life, which is a powerful lesson that we can get from this. And the Lord basically says to him, don't be afraid. And this is a popular song, but he says, this is your battle. The battle's not yours; it's my battle. And it goes on further to tell him to, be still, stand still, and you'll see the salvation of the Lord. So we see here that Jehoshaphat was at first afraid, but the Lord reminds him that really that He's there with him, and He's actually going to fight this battle for Jehoshaphat. And this is a lesson that we can take for ourselves, because I believe a lot of times what we do is we take on battles that are not our battles to be fought, and we take on too much that might be for ourselves, as opposed to, even it tells us later on in scriptures, cast your cares upon the Lord and all this other things like that. But we take on too much for ourselves that it's just too much, and we don't remember the partnership that we're supposed to have with the Lord, the covenant, the relationship that we have with the Lord, and really put it on Him and let the Lord actually fight even some of our battles for us, which is that much easier. So we see here an example of how Jehoshaphat just really didn't do much, and his enemies were defeated. Then he got to even get the spoils from them. But the key thing was that he needed to be reminded that the Lord will fight the battle, and all he has to do is really remember his relationship, remember his covenant, remember that the Lord is present, and then he can reap the rewards. So that's what we need to do a lot of times, as opposed to fighting all the different battles, the different challenges that come up against us, and thinking that we're all alone and we got to do it by ourselves, and then getting maybe sometimes even overwhelmed. These battles are not necessarily for us to fight by ourselves, because once we realize that we have the Lord with us, and we're working on the Lord's side, then we already have victory. So we need to actually just sometimes remember the relationship, and then just be still and see the salvation of the Lord. So when we have challenges, when we have obstacles, when we have trials come up against us, be still is a key thing for us to do. Be still and remember that relationship. Seek the Lord, and you'll see victory will be coming to you. So with that, create yourself a wonderfully blessed day today, and we'll talk again tomorrow.